Scientists include created pigs how are immunity to one of the planet's costliest domestic livestock diseases. The crew editable the animal's DNA to do them oppose the fatal breath illness named as PRRS, ago how could hinder billions of pounds in losses every year. Yet, consumer include historically been unwilling to eat genetically changed animals and cereal. The poses a considerable obstacle to farmers' possession gene expression edited pigs. And since genome, or gene expression, edit, GE, is comparatively brand new, the lack of regulatory now prevents their selling in any case. GE is various to the more than wide utilized technique of gene modify. The X involves the accurate change of an body's DNA, time the last is characterized by the introduce of overseas gene sequences in else residing item. The pig study as well raises pet well-being issues. Critics say how creation illness-resistant animals will prevent farmers of increasing the well-being of their domestic livestock. Several believe how the way the animals are stored can do them less than inclined to compressing the viral infection how causes PRRS. PRRS, that stands for swine reproduction and breath symptom, can reason respiratory problems and die in youthful pigs. In the history, down there include been fears, not supported by research testimony, how GM foods might reason damage to humane public health. Amongst such concerns are how the means of updated cereal or animals might flop allergies or how genes plugged in the meal would get inhumane DNA. But GM foods include been accessible for many decades and no unfavorable effects on humans include always been informed. In its guide, the Planet Public Health Organization, WHO, says, no effects on humane public health include been shown as a outcome of the intake of such a foods by the general people in the countries wherever they include been adopted. Researchers at the College of Edinburgh's Roslin Institution utilized gene expression edit to exclude a little area of pig DNA. But the comparatively little modify prevents the PRRS viral infection of getting a fulcrum on the surfaces of pig cells. The scientists later vulnerable 4 persons of their gene expression edited pigs to the PRRS viral infection. Written in the magazine of Virology, they paper how no became bad. Study lead Dr. Christine Tate Burkard tends how no overseas genes were plugged in the swine. She added how tests so far showed how the animals are not weak or struck in any some way by the trial. This animals are all swine in fair a diminutive chapter snipped of. The major item how the modify will do is gain pet well-being since the animals will not get a really destructive illness, she told. The gene modify is constant, so illness impedance will be gone downward the generations via nature cultivation. Helen Browning of the Ground Associate believes how the attitude deals in the symptoms of a issue, quite rather than address the origin causes. She has stored pigs for 30 years on her natural farmer in Polar Wiltshire. Ms. Browning says how compliance them street and possessing high well-being standards makes the animals less than inclined to illness. If gene expression edit is creature utilized for illness impedance and it is not hopeful companies to changing the way they hold their pigs so they don't get illness in the at first location, later it becomes a issue quite rather than a decision, Ms. Browning told. How's yet several year off. Time the technique is nearly in location, the regulation are not and several are inviting for a social discussion at first. If these teaching are success and the social are receiving of the technique, we would later be looking to job in pig cultivation companies to incorporate these gene expression edits in business cultivation stocks. The PRRS-resistant pig draft is one of several study efforts through the planet to build gene expression editable animals for domestic livestock manufacture. Amongst them is a draft to do national pigs more than persistent to African pig dengue. Researchers are as well hard to growth the brawn massive of lamb and herd by delete a little chapter of DNA. They are hard to imitate a feature how occurs natural in Belgium dark blue bovine. Down there is a stress among the as necessary of the manufacturer and of pet well-being. In 1989, researchers work for the U.S. Division of Farming in Beltsville, Maryland, added a gene expression in the DNA of a pig how would make a humane increase hormonal. The weighting was how the pet would increase more rapid and be leaner rather than regular pigs. The researchers were success, whey profit enlarged by 15%, nourish effectiveness by 18%, and skeleton fat was diminished by 80%. But the animals incurred of several unforeseen public health problems, consisting renal and liver disease problems, inconsistent walk, convex eyes, stomach ulcers, cardiac illness, and pneumonitis. The disastrous fail of the now shameful Beltsville swine leading in a volunteer standstill on increase hormonal experiments on mammals in the U.S. Since gene expression edit is more than accurate, such work in the region trust how it is lot less than potential to conduct to unforeseen party effects. Dr. Tate Burkard quoted the sample of dual-muscled domestic livestock, a feature that can be entered via gene modify or edit or via routine cultivation, as in the Belgium dark blue bovine. Until manufacturing animals persistent to diseases by genome edit will automatic as well aid performance, it presents instant benefits to pet well-being. Yet, while we see at traits such as the dual-muscled symbols in animals down, there are no actual upsides but generally downsides to pet well-being. Dr. Tate Burkard explainable. Illustrations by Katie Horwich.